Ronald Winky Wright, great fighter. One of the most underrated fighters of the last few decades, I think, Winky Wright. And in his prime, he was tremendous. I remember when he went to the UK to beat up several UK fighters like Ainsley Bingham and what was the guy? Was it Steve Foster? Was that his name? Was it Steve the Viking Foster? I think him too. And Adrian, what was the guy called now? He was Guyanese, but he based himself in Britain. Adrian Dodson, that's what he was called. Yeah, I remember when Winky Wright was at his best. I even remember when Winky Wright lost against Julio Cesar Vasquez. He was dropped several times in that fight. But yeah, he's a great fighter. He obviously went on to beat plenty of big names and do a lot in the sport. But he was kind of one of those guys who didn't really get his dues. He had a few contentious decisions that went against him because of the fact that he never had the red carpet rolled out for him. But great fighter anyway, and definitely somebody I respect. Now, he has come out on the Ropes Boxing Radio in an interview and said that he believes Deontay Wilder will beat Anthony Joshua. And that's cool. I ain't got no problem with anybody who thinks Wilder will beat Joshua. That's a perfectly reasonable thing to say. Styles make fights. Yeah, Joshua's fought better competition, and he's done so in half the number of fights that Wilder has had. But that don't mean he can beat Wilder. You know, styles make fights at the end of the day. So let me quote Winky Wright here. He says, I think both fighters are good. I just think Wilder is a little bit more athletic, a little bit more elusive. That right hand is dangerous. He just can't depend on that right hand all the time. He's got to get in there and mix it up. Joshua can mix it up, and he's a big boy with a good punch himself, but I definitely like Wilder. I don't think it goes the distance unless one of them gets hurt and runs, which I don't see. I don't see Wilder doing it, and I don't see Joshua doing it, especially after he fought Klitschko. He got hurt, got up, moved around a little bit, and then went back in throwing his bombs. We know both fighters can be hurt. We know both fighters have the will to come back and win. Now we just need to see both fighters get in there and prove who is the best. So those are the words of Ronald Winky Wright. You see, this is the kind of comment on this particular fight that I can entertain. When someone is talking sensibly like this, no problem. But the Wilder fanboys, these crazed and demented people, all I can ever do is just subtly troll them back, because that's all they do. They just troll people on the internet. I don't engage in conversations with them because their IQ levels are dangerously low. And to quote Jay-Z, not that I'm really a fan of Jay-Z, but one line of his that I do like is, a wise man said, never argue with fools, because people at a distance can't tell who is who. Yeah? That's why I don't engage these dangerously foolish Wilder fanboys in any kind of discourse, because there's nothing to be gained from arguing with idiots. You understand? I just laugh at them. Thank you for the views, and I keep it pushing. But when you get someone who thinks Wilder is going to win, and they might be a Wilder fan, but a sensible Wilder fan, that's cool. He says Wilder can't rely on the right hand all the time. And that's definitely a fair point, because Wilder does rely on the right hand all the time. You know, he does rely on it to get him out of trouble. He's been behind in several fights now, and he's managed to pull it out of the bag by landing the right hand. So he's clearly prolific with the right hand. He's skilled at landing the right hand. It's something, which nobody has been able to get away from, that right hand. So respect the Wilder right hand. It's not luck. He's skilled at landing it. And he's a very good finisher too. People can laugh about Wilder windmilling and all this kind of stuff, but he's a good finisher. You know, I don't care what nobody says. He gets you out of there. When he hurts you, you ain't gonna last long, more often than not. It might look wild, it might look crazy, it might look funny, but it wouldn't be funny if you were the one standing in front of Wilder when he was unleashing all them windmills. Now it's not funny. You understand? So anyway, going back to the right hand, he can't rely on that all the time. He says he's got to get in there and mix it up. Yeah, I like Wilder's energy, and I do think the energy of Wilder could cause Joshua problems. You know, when he goes into Wilder mode and he gets this massive injection of energy, it's like a turbo boost. When he goes into Wilder mode, I think Joshua is going to find it tough to deal with. Joshua is going to find it much easier against Wilder in the slow rounds, when there's not much going on, when he can control things at a steady pace. But when Wilder picks things up, if he lands a decent shot, I'm going to be interested to see how Joshua deals with that. Because if he tries to punch with Wilder, I suspect Joshua might come off second best. I know he's got better technique, but Wilder is so fast, and he's much faster than Joshua, by the way. He's very fast, he's very unpredictable. It's hard to know where the punches are coming from. I think if it's just an all-out shootout and both guys are fresh, I would pick Wilder in that situation. Joshua is a guy who needs more of a construct, you know, and Joshua's more predictable. So it's going to be a fascinating fight when it takes place. Hopefully it does take place. Winky Wright says he doesn't see it going the distance. He says both guys can be hurt. Both guys can come back from being hurt. But he thinks Wilder's a bit more athletic. I agree. Yeah, Wilder is more athletic. He's lighter. He's not carrying all those bulky muscles that Joshua's carrying. So yeah, you know, respect Winky Wright and his opinion on this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm sure the Wilder fanboys will be back in full effect. Thank you for the views again. Much apprecited. And let me know how you feel in the comments, people. It's happening. I'm out.